Well, there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm so glad you decided to join me here today. It's always great to have you here. If this is your very first time, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you. And of course, I want to say welcome. Yes, it's so great to have everyone here. So thank you so much for being here, everyone. Really, really do appreciate that. And if you've been here before, whether one time, 5 times, 10, 100 or more, I want to say not only welcome and thank you, but I want to say the words, guess what? I want to say the words, welcome back. Yes. Welcome back. It's always great to have you here on the show with me. So, again, I thank you so very, very much for deciding to be here. Thank you so very, very much. And I hope that you will definitely enjoy the show tonight. All right. I hope everybody is having a good one. And if you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, don't forget to check that out after the show is over, which you can do, guys, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you guys are thirsty or hungry, I have my RO water here, some delicious lemon, and I have a nice cup of decaf hot tea. Really, really good. All right, nice hot tea always hits the spot. All right, guys, without any further ado, let's kick this show off. Are you ready? I know I am. All right, guys. So again, welcome everyone to the Inspirations for Your Life show. This whole week, we're talking about answering the call. And tonight, we have a very interesting episode, which I think you guys are going to really enjoy. And that is Choosing Yourself in Every Room, Series 5, Show 25, Episode number 5. And again, I say, welcome, everyone. Welcome. Yes, it is so great to be with all of you here. That hot tea really hits the spot, really is delicious. Oh, who am I? Sure. I'm John C. Morley. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, in case you guys did not know that. I am a video producer. I'm a podcast host. I'm a coach, passionate lifelong learner, graduate student. And yes, I am a graduate student at Montclair State University. And I'm so grateful to now be a published author. And I want to welcome you to Answering the Call. Again, another great episode tonight, Season 5, Series 5, Show 25, where this week we're answering the call. And today in episode basically 5, our daily topic is choosing yourself in every room. With the title, Stop Waiting to be Picked, how to include yourself in the rooms you dream about. See, a conversation for everyone who has ever walked into a space they dreamed about and still felt like they were not supposed to be there. Yeah. So let's dive right in. I have a great show planned for you tonight. So again, I think the thing that's important is to acknowledge where we are in life and definitely to go from there. All right, guys. So number 1, start by naming the silent rule. Many of us were taught as kids that you wait to be picked before you move, before you speak, and before you believe, you belong. You have to belong. If you don't belong, guys, I think the problem could be really a major issue. And you might be saying, John, that's a big problem, but I want to tell you that it's important to understand what that's about, what that means, right? I think that might be something that a lot of people, I don't know, they might get concerned about, but it's something we need to be aware of, guys. Something we need to be aware of right now. All right, guys. So let's dive right in. Number 2, explain how school sports auditions and hiring all trained us to line up and basically hope someone in authority points at us and says, you, right now. Number 3, showing us how that rule quietly moves from the classroom into our own identity. And it makes us feel like we always need a gatekeeper to approve our next step. And if we don't get that approval, guys, we don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. Number 4, Connect that training to imposter syndrome and explain that imposter thoughts often come from outsourcing our worth to whoever is in the room. Number 5, I describe how imposter syndrome sounds in real life with thoughts like, I am the least qualified here, or I slipped in by accident. Number 6, I point out that those thoughts all assume someone else is the judge of whether we belong, which keeps us small and silent. I think that can hurt some people because, when you feel small or you feel silent, you don't think you can do anything, but that's not true. It's your thoughts that are doing this to you. Number 7, define choosing yourself as taking back the role of deciding you belong instead of waiting for other people to stamp your permission slip. You don't need that. Number 8, contrast living like a contestant who waits to be discovered with living like a contributor who shows up to serve no matter who is watching. That's the important thing. You don't do it for an audience. You do it because of you. That's a really key step, guys. Number 9, I challenge each and every one of you. The first lie that if you are really good people, you'll magically find the you without ever raising your hand. It's an alignment that happens with our mind and with our body. And I think that's a very important step of life. Number 10, explaining that staying invisible does not make you humble, it just makes you hard to help and hard to support. And when we think about support, that confuses a lot of people because they don't think they belong, and that causes a whole problem, right? A whole problem that maybe you weren't aware of. And that problem comes down to a lot of things. A lot of things, guys. A lot of things. These are important things to know. Number 11, I tackle the second lie that promoting your work or stepping forward is always arrogant and selfish. It's not. Number 12, I draw the line between arrogance, which says I am better than everyone, and healthy, visibly, which stays and says that I am willing to serve and willing to be seen doing it. It's a commitment. It's a feeling of life. But it's something many people don't realize, they don't understand. I think that's a big problem for a lot of people. They don't understand like why that's going to happen or why that's going to make a difference. Okay? Why or maybe even how. Number 13, I address the third lie that if a room does not pick you, it means you're not enough. It never will be. Number 14, I reframe rejection as information about timing, fit, and alignment, not a final sentence on your values as a human being. Number 15, I give listeners a simple 3-sentence script to use quietly when they walk into any room. Starting with, I know why I'm here. Number 16, I add the second sentence, I know what I bring to this room. Whether that is experience, questions, perspective, or energy. Number 17, I add the third sentence for you. I choose myself whether anyone here notices me or not, so their presence does not depend on constant praise. People that are looking for constant praise are always going to be disappointed. Right? I think that's an important one that many people they don't realize it, right? They don't realize like what that means or why that means something, right? And that why could be something important, right? That why could be something important. And that's key, guys. That's really key for the success of your life. Number 18, I show how many of us keep auditioning in rooms we're already in by constantly wondering, did they like me? Instead of, how can I help? I think sometimes we're already in, but we keep trying to find a way that says we're out. Why do people do that? It's confidence. It's absolutely confidence. And that confidence can change who you are. That's important. It's really important. Very important. I think a lot of people don't understand truth. A lot of people don't realize, again, that you don't need that pat on the back to be able to go forward. It's nice, but you don't need it. You can pat yourself on your own back, on your own terms, right? I think that's one that many people, again, they miss that. They miss what that is. They miss why that is. And so that's what I want to share with you guys is that whole concept. Number 19, I invite listeners to shift from auditioning to contributing by focusing on adding one honest thing to the space instead of performing for approval. That's not hard, but that takes conscious effort, doesn't it? It's not something you can just copy what the Joneses are doing. Number 20, I offer a quick, in the moment process for imposter spikes. Name the thought as an imposter moment instead of a fact. Instead of a fact. Number 21, I ask them all to check the evidence by asking, am I unqualified or simply uncomfortable? Because I'm growing beyond my comfort zone. I think when we grow beyond our comfort zone, the first time, like, oh my gosh, is this the right way? Are you sure I'm supposed to be here? Right? That could be a huge thing for a lot of people. Like, why am I here? Why am I responding this particular way? And I think that's something that, again, a lot of people don't understand. Maybe you're saying to me, John, I don't get how this works. So I'm just going to do what I want. Maybe. Maybe you won't. But the truth of the matter is, are you growing? Are you regressing? Or are you staying the same? Are you? I mean, that's really the biggest question I have for everyone here. Are you growing? If you're not growing, you should be. You should be growing because that matters the most. That matters the most, more than anything. And that could be something that is crazy, right? Crazy because of where things are, of, where they're going, why they're going a certain way, right? I think those are very important things to note. But it comes down to who we are and who we believe we are. Number 22, guys, I encourage people to take one small action anyway, like asking a question, sharing an idea, or introducing themselves to one person in the room. I know that this is scary. I know that this is complicated for some people because why, guys? You're going to feel uncomfortable. You got to practice getting comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, being uncomfortable. That's the key. And I said this time in and time again, you've got to practice getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. If you cannot do that, how are you ever going to grow? How are you ever going to grow? How are you going to change where you are right now? Everything is a perspective, isn't it? A perspective that changes where people are. And that's a very crazy thing, isn't it? And I say it's crazy because of one thing, because of the fact that you have made a difference. A difference not just for you, a difference for other people. And maybe you're going to say to me, John, I've been there, done that. Okay, so you've been there and you've done that. But my question is, why are you repeating the same thing over and over again that's not working? And I think the reason you're doing that, I'm going to tell you, is one reason. Okay. It's because you are stuck in a belief zone. I'm not saying you can't change it, because you can. If you change your belief zone, you can change who you are. Think about it for a second. If you change your belief zone, you could change who you are. Literally, I don't say overnight, but relatively quickly. So the question I have for you is, why are you continuing down that same pathway? Is it because it feels comfortable? Is it because it's easy? Is it because maybe you feel this is where you need to go? I don't know. You tell me, what's the reason? Comes down to a lot, doesn't it? Comes down to truth, comes down to integrity. And maybe you're going to say, that's not me. Maybe you're going to say that I don't get it. I don't understand. And it's not that you don't understand, it's the fact that you don't want to apply yourself. It's the fact that you're looking for it to be warm or cold or comfy. And you don't like that it's uncomfortable. That's what you don't like. You don't like that it is uncomfortable. And by being uncomfortable, that's a problem, right? That is a very, very big problem, right? It's a big, big problem. A problem that is for everyone, right? What does that mean to you? It means a lot. What does it mean for you? It means that you have the ability. You have the ability, ladies and gentlemen. You have that ability right now. But some of you are stuck in, well, your own pathway. Your own pathway. Why? Because you are. Right? That can be a very interesting thing. Right? What does that mean? It means that something is crazy, but you can make a difference. Right? Maybe you're saying to me, John, this doesn't make sense to me. I'm just saying maybe. Does it have to mean that? No. Doesn't have to mean that, but it should, right? Or it could. Number 23. I talk about including yourself before the perfect invitation arrives by knocking on doors you respect instead of waiting to be discovered behind the scenes. I think a lot of people get upset because they're not found, right? I think that's an important piece, right? That's an important thing, guys. It's a very important thing that many people, again, do not realize. And the reason they don't realize it is because their perception is not in alignment with it. That's the real truth. Number 24. I suggest practical moves like volunteering for projects, joining conversations, sending the first message, or submitting the application you keep saying, I'm going to save it for later. I'm too busy to do this now. Okay. How does it work? I think it works by you understanding where you're going. I think that's how it works the best, right? Means a lot, doesn't it? Number 25, guys. I invite listeners to identify one specific room they secretly dream about, whether that is a stage, a company, a table, or even a community. Focus on it. Number 26. Helping you see that the biggest barrier is often permission, and that a lot of them have been waiting for that room to choose them instead of choosing themselves first. And I think when we can't choose for ourselves, then we get stuck because we're waiting for someone else, but that someone else never comes to choose us. And it diminishes our ego. It diminishes our confidence, right? That's an important thing to understand. Number 27. I challenge people to shift their posture from beggar to peer in progress, walking toward those rooms with respect, but not with desperation. I think too many times when people network, you can smell the blood of desperation on them, and you're afraid to be near them because they appear too desperate. Okay. That's an important one. Number 28. I give 3 concrete ways to choose people's selves this week. Speaking about their work with clarity, prepare like someone who belongs, and follow up like someone who is serious, not someone who's just kicking some tires, right? Number 29, I remind people that choosing yourself does not mean ignoring others. What does it mean? It means you are less threatened and more able to celebrate other people while standing in your own value. Everyone in this world has value. You do. You may not know you do, but you have value. And if you don't know you have value, then that could be the thing that's keeping you from becoming a success. Everybody has value. Everyone has value. Everyone. Everyone. And that everyone is something that I think a lot of people don't realize that everyone has a value. Number 30. I tie everything back to the weekly theme here of answering the call by naming this as the call to belong on purpose. You have to do this intentionally, guys. Stop waiting to be picked and start choosing yourself in every room. As you do that, you'll realize one thing, that I'm valuable. Not only am I valuable, people want me. And suddenly, you become the greatest thing, not because of the things you do, but because of the belief and value you exert. That's a key, guys. That's a key. And you might be saying, John, I don't believe this. Well, you could say you don't believe it, right? You could say that. But is it the key? Is it the strategy? I think sometimes we get discouraged on the way because we're not where we want to be. And not being where we want to be, I think can cause a big problem for us. Why? Well, because people don't necessarily understand that. They understand that they have the power. As I get ready to close today out, I want to remind you that your life is not an endless audition. And you were not put here to spend your days hoping someone in every room decides that you finally count. Because you see, guys, that doesn't matter. What matters is your belief. And I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to answer the call by deciding to choose yourself, preparing like you belong, contributing like you actually matter, and walking into the rooms you dream about as a peer in progress, not as an accident. And I think when we succumb to this realization, our potential becomes limitless. Our belief is our hurdle. So if we can change our belief, we can change our outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, and I thank you so much for choosing to join me on Answering the Call and inviting you to follow and subscribe so you do not miss the next episode where we continue to build a life that is aligned with who you truly are. Check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Be well, everyone.